morning, everybody. It's Tim at Broken Dice, bringing you a quick little channel update. I finally got all the Bren gun carriers done. Been kind of dibbling around with them for like 3 weeks for something so small and so easy to put together. Sure did take me a long time to get them painted up and ready for the table, and that is the easiest part, is painting them up, because basically they're a dark sand primer from Army Painter with some Games Workshop Reikland Flesh wash and some, maybe a little sepia wash somewhere. I've changed it up on some of them, especially like this one here, which is like a command vehicle. I changed its color up just a little bit, just so it would be easier to pick out in the groups on the table. Added like a commander guy there and another guy in the back. Again, easy to pick it out on the table. Nothing much else to say about these guys. I don't know how they'll do in the game, but I've got them if I need them. Okay, so this project's finally finished, so now I can go back and begin working on more of my Dark Age project. And I did have some of the buildings put together. I have completed some of the bases, and we're going to take a look at that next. Okay, looking at the bases I've done for my Dark Age buildings. Obviously, that's the first building I completed. And so my theory, or I should say my philosophy, on basing for like a building or something is to keep it fairly generic, and then for whatever scenario or type of game that you're playing, I tend to like small pieces of scatter terrain to add to whatever game I'm playing, instead of making like one big base that's just, a thing for a game. I tend to like having a lot of utility. So with this one, I did like a little the flower tufts. Let's turn on this side over here. Yeah, another little flower tuft here, and then just some basic little clump foliage. Very simple, very clean. And then turn this around here, just some logs on the back, some more little bits of clump foliage and a little bush, a bush. And so that's that building and that base. Now, I want you to see here on the bottom, that's the sprue, basically, from the Sarissa Precision, used as the base with the thin cardboard on top. I like using the stuff that we get from for the cardboard for stuff like this. It's like these, I like using these because they're very stiff, but they're very thin. And so not only do I use them for storage when I get something in, but I also use them for terrain pieces. And the second building and its base, it's kind of that barn sort of house bit. So I use a little bit of this from Vallejo, the ground covering. Use that here, painted it up a really dark brown, like it's a worn path to one of the doors. And I did the same thing to this door over here with the path. Again, you can see on the bottom, I used the framing from the Sarissa Precision building as a base to hold the cardboard. So I'm kind of recycling and reusing. Again, keeping the base itself simple for several reasons. One, if something happens to it, it's a much easier fix to fix something simple than something complicated, obviously. And then just some bushes, flower tufts, some logs, and that sort of thing. So the other terrain piece I was working on started off as a mistake. And so let's take a look at this. What I originally started off with was I was using one of these framings, again from Sarissa Precision, where the building came. And I was going to use this for a a base for one of the buildings. But the cardboard I'd cut out for it, after I got it down and I started looking at it, it was too thick. It wasn't thin like this, which is my preferred for like a building or anything. So I thought, okay, I've got this put together. I've used the framing. So how do I make up for this faulty plan? Well, I just turned it into an impassable piece of terrain. And my philosophy on that is to try to put as much stuff on it as you can without it looking chaotically jumbled up. And I wanted it to be very neutral, where I could just drop this down in a lot of different sort of games and scenarios and stuff, and not have it stand out like, whoa, what is that doing here? So basically, a lot of clump foliage all around the edges to break up the hard edge. Some wood, some stone, small stones. Again, it's all about what you like, and when I like to do a piece like this, it's about getting close to that totally jumbled up look without going over it. So I think I hit it with this one, at least for me. Let's turn this so you can see. Yeah, again, a little bit of the smaller stones here on the end, along with some wood, again, around the edges with some clump foliage. And this is a plaster cast from Woodland Scenics, some of their stone range, so it's a fairly large piece. I wanted to put it on a fairly large base and make it a piece of impassable terrain. I think I got this one. I don't want to brag up on it too much, but I think it will serve its purpose. So that's where I've been at this week. Projects have kind of been a little bit all over the place. Terrain pieces, a little bit of painting, some more assembly. I got two more bases to make up for 2 more buildings for this week. I'm going to add in for painting this week. I'm working on some old hammer projects, and then I'm going to work on some more Dark Age miniatures. I think I might go back to, I'm going to have to assemble a bunch and get them ready to go, get them primed up. I can start on one of those big army boxes. So that's the end of this video. I hope everybody liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you'd please, if you did like it. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments why. Subscribe if you haven't. And everybody stay safe, stay well, and I will see you next week.